Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about Romans 3 1 through 20. But first, I wanted to share something going on. This will actually be the last video. I have been in conversation with a couple of my pastors and a couple of other good friends from my church in regard to life and just advice on things, and even what I'm doing here with the Bible study. And just been brought to a place where I have a good opportunity to just reevaluate my life and what's important. My pastor was sharing with me how he went through a season where he backed off from ministry just for the sake of spending more time with his wife and kids. Recommended that it's a good idea for anybody to do. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. We're still going to do the study. We're still going to meet every other Thursday before afternoon shift, the second afternoon shift for lunch at 12:30, and then after midnight's on our last midnight. It'll still stay the same, but to save time, I'm going to back off on doing the videos because that kind of takes up a little bit of time. And we're also going to switch to a curriculum like a workbook or something, which I haven't really figured out what that is yet. That way I don't have to do a lot of prep. So that'll save time and allow me to reprioritize things as well. Just remember, you can always come on out, or you can always shoot me a text if you want to find out when we're meeting, if you forget or anything like that. But so there's that. Just wanted to let you know about that. And then as far as Romans 3 1 through 20, we'll just do a very brief summary. We talked about how Romans is all about the gospel, the good news of Jesus Christ. We talked about the sinful person, starting in chapter 1, the blatantly sinful person, and then as we moved on into chapter 2 and 3, the moralist, the person who thinks he's doing pretty good because he's moral, and so God will probably let him into heaven. And then we started talking about the religious person, which would have been the Jews in particular at that time, the Pharisees. They kind of thought they had the upper hand on things because of their history, with the fact that the Jewish people were the ones that were given law, and they were the people that God chose to unfold his plan of salvation first. Of course, his plan was always for all the nations, but he started with the Jews. And so in chapter 3, he concluded all that by saying it doesn't matter if you are the blatantly sinful person, the moralist, or the religious person, you still are a sinful person, and we stand condemned, every single one of us, no matter what our station in life is, unless God does something to save us. So then chapter 3 starts off with a question from the religious person. Well, then what advantage is there in being a Jew? And Paul says, well, there is a great advantage to that. You should appreciate the heritage that you have, that the Jews were given the law of God, the Old Testament, and they were the people that God chose to use first to bring his plan of salvation. That's a big deal. But it doesn't save you. It doesn't save anybody. So just again, after that in chapter 3, it talks about how, once again, every person is sinful. So that's a very brief summary. And so we talked about before that the gospel is the good news of Jesus Christ, and in order to understand the good news, you have to understand the bad news. And ironically, for these videos, we are ending on Romans 3:20, which stops talking about the bad news, and 3:21 starts getting into the good news. So it's kind of a poor place to stop. But I would encourage you to keep reading Romans. There's lots of commentaries out there, lots of different resources that you can find to continue studying Romans, but it gets into the good news about how Jesus is God and came to be one of us, to know what it is to be one of us, and basically just traded places with us. It should be us dying for our sins, but Jesus himself came, lived the perfect life, and put himself in our place so that we could be in his place, so that he took the penalty for our sins and that we could take his righteousness. And he, being the only one who could walk right into heaven based on the merit of his own life, he gave that to us so that we can walk into heaven based on the merit of his life. If we come to him in faith, repenting of our sin, turning from our sin, and surrendering our life to him. I know we've talked about that before, and there's so much richness in the rest of the book of Romans. So again, I encourage you to continue to read Romans. But for all of you, I hope that you've got some benefit out of these videos over the months and year and a half or so, whatever it's been. no matter what, keep seeking Christ, keep reading the Bible, praying, and hope you're in a good church. And I'm always available too. You've got my number. So God bless, and I will see you around.